Well, hello my fellow adventurers, and welcome back to Living the Grand Adventure. I'm Kevin. Guys, here recently I actually posted on my Instagram a picture of my next loadout for our next trip. We're going out to Archer's Fork for 3 to 4 nights, and this is kind of the gear that I'm going to be taking for that trip. And I'm going to go over that with you right now because that post at Instagram was so popular. I did have a few people actually ask me, hey, what type of gear is this? What are you looking at taking? I figure if there was interest on Instagram, possibly there'd be interest with you guys here on YouTube. So I'm going to show you what I'm taking, and we're going to go over, basically the gear that I will use for a 3 to 4 night trip in the middle of the summer. So of course, any trip, you can't start out without your backpack. And, I'm still taking the lighter weight backpack I have. It's the 3F Ultralight backpack that I got online from AliExpress. It's a really good backpack. Tried it one trip. We did take it down to East Fork. This will be the second trip. Going to get a gear review on this later on, but this will be the backpack I'll be using for that trip. It weighs just under 2 pounds. Next I'll go over that we're taking our shelter. We are taking the tent that we used. Pop it up right here to show you what it looks like. It's the mirror tent. This tent right here with its stakes weighs just under 2 pounds as well. It's actually, I believe it's 33 ounces, so it's just over 2 pounds actually. So we're going to take this. That's going to be our shelter system for this trip. So of course, any trip that you take, you always have to have a sleep system of some type, whether you're sleeping in a tent or you have a hammock. Well, of course, we'll be in a tent, so I'm taking my Parallax air mattress. That worked really well last trip at East Fork, so we're going to try that out again. Alex has hers, I'm taking mine. Of course, this does come with that stuff sack that we showed you that you use to blow up the air mattress. Well, inside that stuff sack as well, I will be taking an extra pair of socks. I actually stuff it down in there. Use it as a dry sack. Pair of underwear. I have an old towel that I kind of cut down. You can tell it's kind of threadbare. This is why I use it on trail. I use this to wipe my legs off, arms off, whatever. I kind of get a little water on them. And just to make sure that I don't get mud inside my sleeping bag or inside the tent, because you do get muddy on trail, you get a little dirty. It's always good to just kind of wipe off. And plus, it's supposed to be very hot. You can use this to cool off with. And also down in that particular dry sack, I will be carrying this sleeping bag. The sleeping bag weighs about 16 ounces. It's just about a pound. It's real lightweight. I believe it's only a 60-degree rated sleeping bag. But I'm going to use this instead of the quilt that I actually made myself last time, because that quilt was just too small. Didn't cover my shoulders. This will be a little bit more comfortable. Does weigh a hair bit more, but I'm going for comfort over weight, trying to balance the two. So I'm going to take that. I'll have that down inside this sack as well as my clothes. It all compacts down really nice and neat, and that actually sits right against my back, my lower back, where my pack has no frame. It definitely makes it comfortable to hike in. We'll be taking my Anchor battery bank. It's a 26,000 milliamp battery bank, so it should definitely last the entire time we're gone. Worked really well at East Fork, had no problem with it. Me and Alex actually used it both, and we didn't even drain it fully, so should be good to go there. Of course, I'll be taking our little lantern. We like this around camp and inside the tent. I mean, it's a luxury item. We really don't need it. I could save the weight and not take it, but Alex kind of prefers to have a lantern. Plus, it works really well if we're stuck inside the tent and it's raining or something, because we are seeing a slight chance of thunderstorms pretty much each evening because of how warm it will be. This will work really good inside the tent if we decide we want to play cards or whatever. This trip, there is a chance that we will not have cell signal part of the time. This is just a very small two-way radio, walkie-talkie if you will, but it does have weather band. So I can connect to the weather band, check our weather when we're out there. Being able to know what the weather is going to be, especially over the next few hours, especially if you see clouds coming in or if you see a thunderstorm coming in, will kind of give you an idea whether or not you need to go ahead and get shelter set up, or if you're just out on trail and you notice that maybe there may be a thunderstorm coming up, you can get shelter, maybe get beside some rocks where you're not out in the open quite so much. We're going to be there at least 3 nights, if not 4 nights, 5 days total. Weather can change between that first day and that last day, and you need to know what's going on. And if you don't have cell signal, this is the best way to do it. Now, of course, those 3 particular items, I actually use this small stuff sack. My backpack is waterproof, or it's supposed to be. I've not really been able to test it in rain, but I don't want those things getting wet, so I have an extra layer of protection with those. And I just stick them down in there, roll it up. It's compact. and I don't have to worry about them getting wet. Speaking of luxury items, I'll go ahead and let you know I will be carrying my chair again. This is the REI FlexLight Air. Great chair. Really enjoyed having it out at East Fork. You know, it was the first time we'd gotten a chance to use it. I let Alex use it for a night or two. I used it. We kind of both sat in it. We both really like one. I'm hoping to be able to maybe get her that or get a Heliox and compare the two down the road, but we'll see. But yeah, you know, this is a luxury item because I could take my Thermarest sit pad, and I've really debated going back and forth whether I was going to do that. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one just because of the money I spent on it, and it really only saves a difference of 10 ounces. And I'll let you know what my base weight is at the end of the video. You kind of understand why I'm kind of like, I can afford this weight here. And of course, you know, you do have to have rain gear because if you have any amount of rain, you want to be kind of dry, you know, at least upper layer. So this is just a nice rain jacket that I got online. I haven't had a chance to try it out either because this is one of my new pieces of gear, and we did not really see rain at East Fork. So we'll take a look and see what this actually does if it would rain on us. This only weighs about 5 ounces, so it's really, really nice how light it is. And it's pretty durable. I pulled it out, looked at it. It's pretty nice. So we're gonna give that a try, maybe do a review on it in the future. And talk about rain gear. Last trip I used a compactor bag down inside the backpack as an extra layer. This time I'm just gonna take this Rainfly that actually fits it really well. It's one I purchased online, actually for one of the kids' backpacks. And it fits mine even better than theirs, and it really compacts around it. So I think, you know, this is lighter than the compactor bag, so I'm gonna give this a shot. If we happen to see rain, my stuff, you know, all my equipment will be protected, and you know, it's a little bit lighter. But you know, I'm gonna try out both methods going forward and figure out which one I really do like before I do attempt to do any bigger trails or anything like that. Now, of course, you know, we'll have a water bottle. This will be on my backpack. It's a liter bottle, Life Water. Has the little flip top, which is what I prefer on trail. Carry that. I'll have the 25 ounce in my right pocket, so I don't count that as base weight on my backpack. I will be carrying my Be Free water filter, and that can be filled up. It's a liter size pouch, so you know, if I need some extra water, if we look like, you know, water maybe a little bit further away, I can always fill this up and carry it inside the side pouch, the extra side pouch, which is where this goes. So of course I will be carrying a cook system with me as well. We'll have the Toaks 650 milliliter titanium pot. Weighs about 26 grams, works really well on trail. Down inside that I will have my BRS titanium stove, which weighs next to nothing. Worked really well last trip. It was the first trip I had a chance to use it. We'll have a small Bic lighter to light that with because of course it doesn't have its own electric lighter or ignition. So I use this to light it. And of course the small 110 canister of fuel, be carrying that as well. On top of that, you know, I do have my bear bag, which is just this is the rock bag I use to kind of toss up over the, give it some weight so I can toss it across a branch. It's actually a bag that used to house a lens for one of my cameras in the past. I don't have that camera now, so I just use this. I put the rock down in it and connect it to my bear line, which I'm using this now. I'm gonna try this one out. I made it myself. It's a Dyneema string with just a small clip on it. It's much lighter weight and more conducive, I think, than paracord. So I'm gonna give that a shot. Something a little new on the trail as well. If it doesn't happen to work, Alex will actually be taking her bear line as well, and we can actually hang our food up together. But I'm gonna try this out and see if I can get this to work, which would be lighter on the trail. So next we'll kind of go over my ditty bag. I do carry a little bit larger dry sack that I kind of store toiletries in. I have a few things in there I'm gonna show you. And you know, starting with, of course, one of the main things that you gotta have, I use a combination of toilet paper and wet wipes, basically because one, wet wipes are a little bit heavier than toilet paper, so I use the toilet paper and the combination of the wet wipes because I save some weight, but also I'm still able to get good and clean and not have to worry about chafing or anything like that on the trail and stay clean versus being a little bit more messy, you know, when you've got to go to the bathroom. So the combination of the two work really well for me, saves weight, but still actually, you know, I'm able to stay good and clean. Also carry, this is probably one of my heaviest things I carry. This is my toothpaste, toothbrush. I have a small thing of chapstick in here. I do carry mouthwash. Also, I do wear contacts, and I carry a small contact case in here that has extra contacts in it, but also carry an extra contact case. That way, if I lose my primary contact case, I've got a backup. And then I do carry contact solution. This is about half full right now, this bottle right here, if you see it. basically that's enough to get me through 4 or 5 days easily, and I won't have to worry about anything, even if I have to take them out and clean them during the day. So I have thought about switching over to primary glasses versus using contacts on the trail, because it would save a lot of weight. But I've worn contacts for 30 years. It would be really hard for me to switch over to glasses on the trail. However, Jenny did convince me to go ahead and get a good pair of glasses. You actually, I believe, saw them at East Fork. I do wear them, you know, like in the mornings and later at night if my eyes are a little bit tired. I put these on. They work really well. It may be something I do in the future and just switch over to glasses to save that extra weight. We'll see. Also in the ditty bag, I do carry a thing of Gold Bond, basically for chafing and issues like that. I will recommend that if you do get this the travel size of the Gold Bond like this, you know, you get it at Walmart for like $1.50. Put it in a Ziploc bag, because if you don't, this is not self-sealing. It will go all over your pack, your ditty bag, whatever. In fact, the first time I ever carried this on trail, the first time I opened up my ditty bag, it was full of powder everywhere. So put it in a Ziploc bag. I have it in a little snack size Ziploc bag. Works perfect. Probably need to switch it because it does have a couple holes. I just noticed it blew a little bit of the powder out, but this is what I carry for chafing. I carry a smaller thing of tissues. You know, it's always good to be able to blow your nose if you need to. You know, that helps. It's not much weight. And a small thing of lotion, which, you know, I use basically for drier areas of my body. My hands, if they get really dry, elbows, knees, definitely on my feet. I use it a lot of times because you want to keep your feet moist. You want to keep them, you know, protected. Lotion does the trick because, you know, you get some chafing down there, you get some stuff like that, some dry skin, you can develop a blister really quick. So this works really good on trail. And then I have my first aid kit that I carry inside my ditty bag. Basically in here I just have a couple of Q-tips. I do carry a larger pair of tweezers, that way if you get a splinter or something. I have a few Band-Aids. I have a thing of Neosporin with a little bit of tape, you know, medical tape. I carry some ibuprofen, naproxen. I have a couple of Tylenol and some Imodium because, you know, if you get diarrhea on the trail, that could be very, very dangerous. And other than that, that's really all I carry in there. So it's a little bit smaller. Also inside that dry sack, I do carry my pillow, which is a Trekology pillow. You've seen that on trail a couple of times, I'm sure. Works really good. It's just a really, really compact pillow that blows up really comfortably. And then this is the sack I carry them in. Just a basic, you know, you can get it at Walmart. It's an outdoor products. $9.99 at Walmart, $9.95 on Amazon. You can get it there as well. Normally comes in a 3-pack, which is the blue, the orange, and a larger yellow sack. Well, in fact, this is the larger sack here. That's what our tent is in. It compresses down really well. I use it as a dry sack. That way if the tent's wet, you know, that's what we carry it in. Okay, so next would be the things I carry. Like basically you'll see them dangling on the straps of my pack. I have a 50 SPF sport type of suntan lotion. I definitely carry this in the summer because we don't want to get sunburnt. I have my small thing of Purell sanitizer. I just refill it. It's basically the same one I've been using for about 1.5 years. It hangs really well. I normally have it right about here on my chest. I do carry a compass as well. It's a nice compass that works great with you know, either map or landmarks. You can sight landmarks and kind of get your bearings a lot easier. Never leave home without a compass and a good map of where you're going, because, you know, even if you do have an app or a GPS or whatever, they can fail. You know, if they get wet, something happens, they get damaged, you've still got a backup plan on being able to get out there, and make sure you know how to use those as well when you're on trail. I do have 100% DEET for bugs during the summer. This works really well. Fights mosquitoes, fights you know, the black flies, the gnats. They won't land on you. They may still get in your face, but you know. This is Visine. Basically, I use it for if my eyes get dry. Sometimes I get allergies on the trail. You know, it helps my contacts. I'm able to see a little bit better with those. I do have, you know, my headset. You know, be able to listen to some music, listen to an audiobook at night, podcast, whatever I decide I want to do. This works really good, real lightweight. I do carry an inhaler. I used to have asthma. You know, I've been told I still do, but I haven't used this inhaler in almost 2 years. Well, not this particular inhaler, but a inhaler, because this one is still valid. In fact, I actually need to get it refilled in the next couple of months. But I carry it because you never know, you may get in a situation that I may need it. Also, in my side pocket, I carry my little headlamp. It's the Nightcore 25U. I did talk about it in one of our previous videos. Do have our trowel. You know, if we have to dig a cat hole, be able to use the bathroom, always carry one of these. That way, you know, you're able to do what you need to do on trail, leave no trace and things like that. I do keep it inside the Ziploc bag because it can get muddy. I like keeping my equipment as clean as possible, so I do keep it in a Ziploc bag. I have my titanium spork to be able to eat with. It's in this little sack right here, but that's really what it is. It's just a long-handled titanium spork that we use. That's basically, you know, my base weight. I am carrying this here, which I'm including in this trip as far as my base weight. It's waterproof cards. Alex wanted me to take these with us. That way if we get stuck in the tent with it raining, we can play cards. I kind of taught her Texas Hold'em and like rummy and a few things like that. We're in the process of learning how to play two-person spades, things like that. It's really cool to have something like that on trail to do. You know, if you're stuck inside the tent, you know, there's a couple of you or three of you, you know, you're not as bored. So, Alex did request that we do some fires on the trail. So this is a little bit more weight that I wasn't counting on this trip, but that's okay. Of course, I have my spin saw to kind of cut down the branches a little bit. I'm not taking my axe this time. I am taking my Elk Ridge bushcraft knife. It's a little bit lighter weight, and I haven't had it out for a while, so I thought, you know, give me a chance to get it out, clean it up real good, sharpen it, get it back on trail, guys. And then I do have a small fire kit. Basically, it just has, well, I have a little bit of lighter fluid here. If it would rain, I do carry that. I normally don't use it. In fact, I don't remember the last time I filled this. This was probably before we went to Red River Gorge last year. So I haven't even done anything with that. This is a canister here. You see it right here. It's just a small medicine bottle. I think it was an aspirin bottle or something like that. I have some cotton balls in there to start fire with if we're having a little trouble. That's also a little bit of dryer lint, which those all start really well. And then I have a little bit extra super glue in here. That way if you cut yourself, you can kind of, you know, glue that up, you know, so you don't have to worry about having to have stitches immediately. And there is a spare lighter in here, you know, backup. That way if the first lighter doesn't work, I'm not going to not be able to eat. I did miss one thing when I was talking about my cook system. I do dry soak my breakfast now, make it easier to get on trail a little bit quicker. Basically, I fill this up with my 2 packs of oatmeal, and I do actually put a 1/4 cup of the condensed milk that has extra vitamins and stuff in it, and I soak this overnight. That way when I get up, I can have my cold oatmeal, which I actually really enjoy, and we get on trail a lot faster. You don't have to worry about cooking in the morning and stuff like that. Definitely works great in the summer. Of course, to come winter, I may not want a cold breakfast. I may want that warm breakfast to warm me up. Inside this, I do have 2 small things of creamer for my coffee. Generally, I have like 2 packs of coffee in my food system, and that'll go with that. And this is actually an emergency fire kit slash sewing kit. I have some thread in there, some needles, I have matches. Also have, for my spin saw, this nut right here. If I would happen to lose it, I have a backup in there of that. So it adds a little bit more weight, but this is kind of something I think is necessary. You know, if you get out somewhere and you get lost and you have no way to make fire, you could be in trouble. I mean, just not, you know, like especially, you know, like say you're crossing a river, you're crossing a creek, somehow your pack gets lost, goes downstream. If you have this in your pocket or somewhere where you can get to it, this may come in handy for you. Generally, I carry this in my pocket. I just have it in here for right now, so I know where it's at. So that's my loadout for the next coming trip. It's a, you know, 3 to 4 night trip, 4 to 5 days, depending. We're hoping to be able to do it in just 3 nights, but it's supposed to be extremely hot. A couple of days, the heat index is supposed to be venturing on 100, so we're going to kind of play it by ear whether we want to push ourselves harder or just kind of deal with the heat and do a 4-night, 5-day. We have that option. We're planning for 5 days, 4 nights, but we're wanting to try to push it and do the 3 nights. So, but this is what I'm taking for this trip. Do have a couple of creature comforts, you know, a little bit of luxury items. We, you know, of course, the fire stuff, you know, we could leave that at home. But just to let you know, right now, the base weight for this particular trip is actually only 14.6 pounds, even with the extra stuff. So, you know, my base weight, if I was leaving the fire stuff at home, the cards, a few things like that, I could probably get it down below 12 pounds, which I'm really stoked about. I've been working for a couple of years to try to get my base weight as low as possible. And I think this really is going to be a good test on, you know, carrying a little bit extra stuff, but still having a nice low base weight. So if you guys really enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe, like, share, and comment on YouTube here, guys. And definitely check out my Instagram, my Facebook. That's where this video actually originated, was where I made posts on those two platforms, and people were interested in what I had, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and do a video, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a little bit out of it. If you have any questions, like I said, definitely comment down below. I'll get back to you and answer as fast as possible. Until then, guys, we'll see you on the trail. Always remember to live your grand adventure to the fullest. Take care.